Let's just find our seat and feel grounded and lift tall through the spine. How can we feel tall without feeling rigid, awake, but not like, so notice if the shoulders, notice if the minute I said sit up, whether you went into sergeant posture, and try to settle into your seat and feel your hips, and then take an inhale and imagine that this inhale is lifting you upwards. And then as you exhale, push down into your feet and your thighs and your sitting bones. And then inhale and lift back out of it without lifting the shoulders to the ears like earrings. And keeping this seated position, let's inhale and take our arms out towards the sides of our body, extend out from the heart, nice and wide, and then beginning to lift skyward. And we're going to flow it a few times. So lowering and inhale and lifting, and you might turn your palms upward as the arms rise and your palms downward as they lower. We're breathing in with this upward motion, and we're breathing out with this downward motion. And then bring the arms up, and let's side bend towards the right. And then we're going to come back up. So that wasn't a full stretch, right? And then we're going to go towards the left, but we're not going to stay too long. And we're going to come back up. So we're easing into our stretch for a little split second, or a breath, maybe a half of a breath, and inhale, and then the exhale sways the other way. So this is our flowing stretches, and let's sweep it across the body towards the right and then towards the left. Maybe you're in lukewarm water. You're picturing yourself just kind of swirling the waves around, and then inhale and lift the arms, and let's make a circle. So going downwards towards the earth, and then rise back up the other way. And again, so this would be clockwise for you, going down and then inhaling as we rise. One more time. Notice how your weight shifts in your hips as you move downward and into your feet. Press the toe pads down in the heel. Inhale, lift up. And let's exhale and take our hands towards our heart. And use your awareness in your breath to feel, what does it feel like in your body at this moment? Exhale, lower the arms down. Palms are facing forward. Ribs are pulling back, so the belly's engaging. Exhale, lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. Take an inhale and an exhale, and then lift the head back up. You can always have your finger help out so you don't feel any stress or strain. And then exhale other way. Left ear towards left shoulder. Breathing in. And breathing out. Ooh, and I can just feel, and notice if you do, the stretch gets a little bit more as we stay there. And inhale and lift the head back up. So sometimes people do a stretch and they say, I can't feel it, I can't feel it. Give it a moment, give it a breath, because very often it just takes some time to settle in. Let's take our arms upwards and we'll go the other way. We're going counterclockwise towards the left and down and around. Lifting upwards, and let it feel, even though we're moving the arms, notice what you're feeling in your torso. So the movement's it's coming from further down, and the arms are following. bring your focus to this area and notice what you feel. It's not just a stretch of the arms, but the whole body is impacted. And then bring your palms back down. Let's stretch out the legs forward. I'll turn sideward just so my toes don't get cut off. And lengthen both legs out. Push your heels down. And then pull the ribs back. And on your exhale, point your toes away from you. And on your inhale, pull them in. Let's externally rotate the toes outward. The heels are inward. Bring it back to center. And on your exhale, take them outward. And inhale back to center. We don't need to look at them, right? Just feel it. It's circling out and bring it back in. Now, perhaps make your heels go a little bit wider and turn your toes inward towards each other and then out. In and out. One more time. Swish it in and maybe hold it for a moment here. Notice how that feels. If anything feels funky in your knee or your ankle, please release it and let it go. We could talk about it afterwards. Toes back up. And let's pull the heels back underneath our knees. Inhale, swing your arms up as you lean forward. Exhale, take your hands to your knees or your thighs and pull your belly in. Inhale, arms reach forward. Exhale, we round. And hold it for a moment or breath here and feel this stretch. Perhaps you feel it across the top of your torso. Feel it right on the top of your shoulders. Inhale, lift up. Heart rising. Now I'm noticing my belly's hanging out. I'm going to pull the ribs back and that's going to tone it up. Notice how that feels. Pull those ribs back. You feel a little bit stronger. And come back upright, hands to the heart and to the side of the chair. We'll play with some leg lifts. Bring one leg forward. Sit tall and lift it up. Doesn't matter how high it goes. It might be an inch or two, or it might be about knee height so both knees are about level. We exhale and we inhale. Lower the heel down, pull the heel in, lift your knee up and give it a big hug. Pull the thigh in towards you, grow tall. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, we'll open into a twist. Open up your left arm out to the side and back, and maybe you gaze towards your thumb, and then curl your fingers in towards your palm. Oh boy, thumb is upward. That's a big stretch for the hand. We were talking about the hands and the fingers the other day. Inhale back to center and lower the leg down. Let it go. Let's walk in place. Inhaling one knee up, then the other. Just getting a little rhythm here. You might hear a little pat as you lower your leg down. And then let's swing the arms. Walk in place. Get a little revved up here. Breathe in. And breathe out. And let's kick one leg forward and on the other. Like, what is this, like the can girls? Just alternating. So I like to do stretches and then bring in dynamic movement and static, or hold a little bit more holding. It's a nice combo. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, hands to your thighs. Lean forward, pull your ribs back. Draw your shoulder blades on your back. Try to keep your neck spine in line with your heart spine. So I can't see it either, but you could see me. Now, if I drop my head down like this, the line isn't there. If I lift my head up too far and drop the head back, the line isn't there. So we're finding that place in the middle. Shoulders up and back, ribs back. Exhale, lower slightly down, like you're literally doing a push-up on your thighs. You're building strength by pressing down. Inhale the shoulders up and back. Let's take the arms forward, bring them up, and circle this around and about a few times. Don't worry, we're going to do the other side. I know we didn't get to it yet. We're circling around. And then take your hands to the chair. Maybe get a little bit more towards the edge without falling off. And let's lift just one foot up for a moment and feel your belly engage. And maybe lean back. And maybe extend it. Bring it back in. Lower it down. Other side. Inhale. Lift the toes off. Lengthen, maybe we lean back, belly engages. Maybe we take one arm or both arms up. So we're playing with core here a bit. And then exhale and lower it down. One more time with this. Push down through your thighs, draw your shoulders up and back. This is like a yoga push-up on your thighs. It's a cobra and a push-up. In fact, push your thighs down and lower down a little bit, but keep your shoulder blades on your back. And feel like you're angling that energy out through your crown. And then exhale, release. Let's drop the arms down like a rag doll. You might scooch you back a little bit in your seat. And let the head sway right and left. Come back to center, hands to your hips, shoulders up and back. Push down through your feet in your sitting bones. We rise up, and I'm just going to switch so you can see me for the other side. Let's inhale and lift the other leg. So presumably your left, but it could be your right. And hug it in as you sit tall. And then perhaps extend it out. Exhale, lower it down. Maybe you lift it up a few inches or a little bit more. Sit up tall. If you notice like you're clenching in here, lower it down a little bit. Pull your belly in and up so it's not a clench. Inhale, leg lifts. Exhale, leg lowers. Inhale, it lifts. Let's bring the knee back in. Give it a hug like you're going to kiss your knee. Hold the knee. Let's take the right arm out to the side now and perhaps gaze back to your thumb. Feel your shoulder blade on your back. This is my favorite here because it's a twist, but also it's one of my favorite. You can feel the shoulder blade come into your back. Now curl your fingers in towards your palm and lift your thumb up. Ooh, this is a big stretch for the hands. Shoulders, fingers, hands, all connected. Maybe you gaze back there, if it's okay with your neck, and you can pull a little bit on your knee or thigh as you come into this twist. And let's lower that down and let it go. Inhale, arms forward and around as we exhale, getting a little motion going here. And then let's play with opposite arm and leg rising. Breathe in and breathe out. Just focus on your breath as you're moving. Breathing in and breathing out. Come back to our mountain pose. Palms are on the thighs. Shoulders up and back. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. And notice, is my chin up and it feels yucky behind my neck? Or is my chin down and I feel like my head is like a ripe piece of fruit that's just about to come off? We want it to be strong and still ready to stay on the branch. It's still prepared to stay on the branch a little bit longer. Shoulders are up and back. We're going to exhale, lower down like we're doing a yoga push-up. Gaze down and then lift up. Push your palms into your thighs as your heart lifts. Exhale, lower. I can't believe how hard we're working just with this. Push down, inhale, lift up. Exhale, we lower, but we're using the resistance. We're pushing into our palms. Our palms are pressing into our thighs, and our thighs are pressing into our palms. Inhale, arms forward and around and about. And bring your palms to heart center. And I'm going to turn back forward. And let's move into some eagle and goddess. We got to do eagle and goddess. So here we are. Let's go to goddess or horsey. If you prefer horsey, that's good too. Push your toe pads down. Take your sitting bones back. And then pull the ribs back. Do that a few times. We're keeping the knees wide, but my wide might be different than your wide. Your wide might be here, or it might be out. That we don't want to go too far. Don't take it back behind you. Your hip socket can only handle so much. So feel, what does it feel like to be here or to be there? Or maybe it needs to come in. You are the guru of your body. Take your left shoulder forward and then roll it back. And bring the right shoulder forward and bring it back. And then gaze towards your right as you push down through your thigh. A little bit of a twist here. Come back to center. Gaze towards your left as you push down into your thigh. The right shoulder is pulling back. Inhale, come to center. Interlace your fingers, push your palms away, and lift them skyward. That's it. Maybe take your hands behind your head. Please don't push your head forward. You can lean your head slightly back into your palms and bring your elbows towards each other, and then open them up. And bring your awareness to your shoulder blades. Pull your elbows towards each other without squeezing your head. And then open it up. A little bit of resistance. Head pressing into palms. Palms pressing into head. Breathe in. And breathe out. Tip the elbow down. And upper elbow is lifting skyward, though it may not go all the way, and you might peek up towards the ceiling. You might not. Push down through your feet, rise up. Tip your left elbow down and your right elbow up. Maybe you gaze up towards the sky. It's a gorgeous sky here. And press down through your feet and rise up. Awesome. Extend your arms wide and push your palms away from each other. Curl the fingers in towards each other. Bring your palms forward, crisscross applesauce. Give yourself a hug. Open it up. Exhale, cross the other way. Big hug. Big hug. Open it up. You got it. Release your hands and we'll walk our feet back in towards us. Lift your toes towards your nose. Spread your toes. Press the pads back down. Push the pads of the toes down into the earth without crunching them. You need to be nice to them and kind of smooth them out. Push down through the center of your heels. Lift tall. Pressing down through the right foot, inhale the left leg up. We're going to cross it over the calves and the shins, the lower legs, cross over, or like so, thighs. So either crossing lower legs or crossing upper legs for our eagle pose. The eagle arms are either the hug, or you're going to take your left arm under your right. So the right is on top. Lift the upper arms up and press the elbows away from you. Some people, because of their anatomy, can bring their upper arms or their lower arms towards each other and maybe grab fingers of opposite hand. Doesn't make you more enlightened. I just happen to have long arms. Maybe you do and maybe you don't. We lift the elbows up and we press them away and we feel a stretch in the back body. On our inhale, we're going to kick the left foot forward, hold on to the chair. Pull the knee back in and circle it around and about. Pull it back towards you, circle the knee. Again, circle it around and about. Other side. We lift up, we cross our lower legs and hug them towards each other. Where you might feel this is right around here on the outer, or sometimes people feel this in the hip area. Now cross it over, either one. Hug thighs in towards each other. Either you're taking your hug or the right arm is underneath the left this time. So it's always the opposite comes on top. Don't ask me why. The yogis figured this out and I don't question that one. So elbows lift, or we interlace our fingers in our lower arms towards each other. So we're pushing we're broadening across the back of the body. As you push your lower arms in towards each other, you feel this broadening across the back. Take a breath in and really feel the back of your body, and a breath out as you push your elbows away and upward. Get ready, push down through the left foot, inhale, right leg lifts, lower it and circle it around just to get some flowing movement in there. And then hold on to the knee and circle it around and about. As we breathe in and as we breathe out, and place it on down. It's starting to get warmer. I couldn't believe it, but I saw it in the car yesterday. It said 84 degrees. I want to remind you about cooling breath. Cooling breath is where you slurp through your tongue, or you make a funny face and you put your tongue on the roof of the mouth. So I'm going to show you the first ways. Now, don't go showing this video to everybody because, really. All right, so the first one is if this is a genetic thing, if you can curl your tongue, you curl your tongue. If you can't, you're going to lift it to the roof of your mouth. So first one is we curl the tongue, breathe in, close the lips, bring that cool air in, exhale out through the nose. And you can do that several times. Some people do this energy lock at the end where they drop their chin slightly down. So let's do that a few times. You take your tongue out, you curl it like you're slurping through a straw. Slurp in, bring the tongue back in your mouth, and exhale out through your nose. Now here's the other alternative. You take your tongue to the roof of your mouth like this. You slurp in. I don't know if you can hear that or not. You close your lips. You exhale out through your nose. And we do that again. My mouth is getting cold now. So the idea is we're bringing in this cold air into us. It really works for several people. I'm getting a little chilled, honestly. So, well, let's do it again. We're going to slurp. We're going to put the tongue on the roof of the mouth so you can feel that one. Close the lips. Exhale out through the nose. So that is called Sitali breath. Sitali breath. And as the temperature rises, I'm assuming most of you are in a climate where it's getting warmer, you might want to remember that breath, stick it in your pocket and take it out when you need to. Let's go down to the earth. So find our way down safely. I was presenting last night and there were several, my mission when I'm presenting to people who haven't done yoga before is to help them understand that you don't have to go down to the earth, which is why we have the class half in the chair and then half down. And if going down is something that's uncomfortable for you, many of the poses can be done still in the chair, but you shouldn't do anything that isn't safe for you. But what was disturbing for me is how many people are still afraid of yoga. So I hope you will help me by telling people that you don't have to be scared of yoga, that yoga is for everybody, and that there's always an alternative to a pose. And I'm on a mission, so I'm asking you to help with that. Let's take a blanket, go down to the earth safely. For those of you who are going down, we take our hands to the chair, and everyone goes down differently, right? Some of you just go on down, right? You go into a yoga squat and you go down because you've been squatting all your life and it's an easy thing to do. I have some students who literally slide down the wall. We're talking about people who use a walker, but I've seen this is one way they feel safe doing it. And far be it from me to tell them that that's not the right way to do it. They taught me something. You just want to make sure you're safe. Most people turn towards a chair, hands are on the chair, and they slowly lower down and then move the chair out of the way. So I'm going to move it out of the way here. Get it out of the way. And we'll do some weight bearing because weight bearing is so important. And maybe before, you might want to just make sure your wrists are feeling a little stretched out so you can do little circles with your wrists, or maybe you wring out the washcloth, the imaginary washcloth. You could always use a washcloth, right? But this feels really good. I'm always surprised by how much tightness is in the back of the hands. Circle it around and let's go for it. So when we're putting our hands on the mat, or potentially some people really like to put their hands on blocks, a little softer. The hands are just like the toes in terms of we're pushing the finger pads down into the blocks or into the earth, and we're drawing energy up into the center of the palm. So we're not dumping in the wrists. Then we pull our belly in and up and maybe walk the knees back so we have a nice long table. And let's kind of wag our tail. So gaze towards your hip one way. And then inhale to center and gaze towards your hip the other way. And sway. But my finger pads are still pressing down and I'm making certain not to dump into the wrists. Please don't dump into your wrists. And then you may do a few little circles just to get into that lower back. And circle it the other way. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, we'll come back to center, round the spine like the cat, curl in, and then lift your sitting bones in your heart and feel a nice stretch. You might feel it in your belly. Make sure you're clawing the mat. And then let's rock forward and back, hips towards the heels. And then inhale forward, exhaling back and inhaling forward. Take a little break. So you're off your palms now and your hips can go towards your heels. Maybe you bend your elbows, hands towards your elbows, relax your head down. You can support it by relaxing onto your forearms. Or maybe you have a blanket or a block to rest your forehead on. I always love that. It's very calming. And the elbows are bent to the side. So either way, whatever is best for you. And some people like to turn their head, and that's okay, but you want to make sure you turn your head both ways. If you're going to do one way, then of course, at a certain point, you want to turn it the other way. If you're cramping underneath your feet, remembering you could put a blanket under there or a pillow or something so that these toes don't cramp up, and you can always just kind of pat them around like I'm doing right now. Let's lift our right or extend our right leg back, curl the toes under, and reach back through the heel and stretch out your calf. What a nice stretch for the calf. What a nice stretch for the calf. So feel that as you rock forward and back. We're still clawing the mat with our fingers. Then you're going to lift the leg up and tap it to the left. Inhale back towards center and tap it towards the right, and bring it to center and tap it towards the left. Now, when you tap it this time, push back through the heel so it's at a cross. It's at an angle. And then try to reach your hips back a little bit and notice how that feels. Now, some of you may be able to bend that knee down, and if you can, push your hips back that way. If it's too much, please don't do it. And then bring the foot back straight, reach the left arm forward, extend the crown of your head for a version of spinal balance. Always a wonderful thing to do. Now, you are on the earth, not far to fall. I don't want you to fall, right? Be safe. You might have a hand on a block, but how about practicing with the eyes closed for just a breath or two? How about closing the eyes? The toes can be down, the hand can be up or down, belly's pulling in, ribs are pressing upwards. And with your eyes closed, notice what you're feeling. You are using a different part of your brain and your proprioceptive, interoceptive abilities. You're building that. And then lower the hand back down and the knee back down and swirl your hips around, because you're going to need a little break. There was some weight bearing going on the opposite hip. I know I needed a break. And let's do the other side. Now, if your hands are getting, your wrists and your hands are getting tired, you can come down on your forearms. That's certainly an option. Let's extend the left leg back, push out through the heel. Lots of people say to me, what's a good calf stretch? If you're comfortable going down, this is a good calf stretch on the earth. It's one of the good ones. Then let's cross the leg towards the right. And then bring it back in and maybe take it to the left. And bring it back to center and take it back towards the right. Maybe bend your knees and rock your hips forward and back as you breathe in and breathe out. Always remembering to breathe. So you might feel this in your hip as you do that. Very possible. We're going to come back, extend the leg, and maybe find our version of spinal balance. You could stay here and do spinal balance on your forearm, or you could lift back up if your wrists are ready for that. Toes are down, fingertips are down, or leg is lifting, arm is lifting, extending long, reach forward and back, claw the mat with your finger pads, breathe in, breathe out, gazing down and forward, reach, 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 reach. Feel this nice extension. Maybe close the eyes. Check it out. How is it different when you close your eyes? Even if you need to take your fingertips down, how does it feel different when you close your eyes practicing a balance pose? Lots going on inside of there. The brain is so complicated. Let's bring that knee back in and circle the hips. And then we're going to come down onto our bellies. So to come down onto our bellies for our cobras, you might have the blanket underneath your pelvis and your ribs if you know you get lower back pain. If you don't, then take it out. And we will come on down. Let's do some Shalabhasana locust pose. Well, we can start by just the legs. So you might rest your head down or turn it to one side. We're going to inhale and lift the right leg. Tone your hip. And then how about circle the ankle one way and then the other. And then take the leg out to the side, bring it back in. Keeping a tone in this hip. If you want to, touch it. See if it's contracted. And then maybe take your heel towards your buttocks. Leg is lifting and give it a few little pulses. If you start to cramp up, let it go. Release that one. Let it go. Maybe swish the leg around, but don't try to fight the cramp. Let it go, because cramps won't fight with you. They'll just keep going. So here we are, bending knee and pulling heel towards us, and then release it. And bend it back in. Let's flex the foot and push it up towards the sky. So we're feeling some strengthening. You're feeling your hip tone. Now, maybe take your hands by the side, bring them back, keep the head lifted and the neck long. Maybe you push your palms up and your arms are back behind you. If this is too much, keep your hands here. Keep your hands here. You could also have your fingertips here. Let's lower the leg down, let that go, and swish your hips right and left. Breathe in and breathe out. I'm going to switch sides. You stay where you're at and begin to lift the left leg, tone the left hip. So we're lifting, we're reaching through our toes. We might take the leg out towards the left and then bring it back into center. Circle the ankle. One way and then the other. Extend. Maybe bend the heel or the heel towards your butt. You're bending your knee, heel towards buttocks, and doing little pulses up towards the sky. And then extend the leg and maybe bend it again. Pulse it up. And maybe you take your hands by your heart, draw your shoulders up and back, pull your belly in. You can extend the leg or keep the knee bent, and maybe take your arms back behind you, or fingertips are down, shoulders are on the back, belly's toning. Breathe in, breathe out. Yep, you might feel a little bit of heat coming in. Make sure the neck isn't dropping back behind you, but it feels long. Release, let that go. Let's take our arms forward for super yogi pose. Super yogi pose. Here we go. Arms are forward. You might lift your legs and your arms. I like to take my arms into a V or even a cactus. Bend the elbows. Press the inside of your legs towards each other. Feel a tone in the buttocks. Exhale, let that go and take a break. Breathe in, breathe out, and let's do that again. Either arms by your side in cactus, or back behind you, palms facing each other, or forward. Either way, this is probably the hardest, the arms forward. Make sure you feel your shoulder blades on your back. Pull the belly in and up. Lengthen through your toes. Spread them. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Exhale, release the legs, hands by your side. Shoulders up and back. Press into your little cobra here. Hips are still toning, belly's still toning. Pull the ribs back towards the back of your shirt. Maybe lift up a little bit more. Feel the blades on your back. Exhale, lower down. Let's pull back into a child pose. Pull your hips back towards your heels and enjoy the stretch. You can breathe in and breathe out and feel your belly as it's flowing with your breath. Your knees may be together or they may be apart. If they're apart, you're going to get a little bit more of an opener. But if your lower back needs some support, bring your knees on in. Let's walk our arms towards the right. Walk them to the right until you feel a good stretch through the left side of your body. And then take a breath in and a breath out. And breathe in and breathe out. Let's walk the arms the other direction towards the left until you feel a stretch. Pull your hips back. Breathe in, feel the ribs expand. Breathe out, feel the torso settle back down. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's go down onto our sitting bones and we will lower down onto our back. I am going to bring my pillow with me so you can see how it works. Not that we're going to sleep now. We got work to do. But come on down onto your back and maybe bring the block and the strap with you so you've got it. And you might have a little blanket under your head. Let's bend the knees and place the feet on the earth. And then I want you to press down through your right foot and feel the activation in your leg as you push that foot down. You might notice some activation in your hip as well. And release that. And push down through the left foot, the toe pads, the center of the heel, and then release that. And with your hands on your belly, just check out that your breath is low, slow, and through the nose, unless you're stuffy with a cold. You're going to breathe in, and you're going to feel the belly rise. And breathe out, and the belly softens back down. Breathe in through the nose. And breathe out through the nose. With your arms by your side into the robot position, you're going to walk your shoulders towards your ears, push down through the upper arms, heart lifting. Foot pads pressing down. Inhale, lift your hips and tone them. Pushing down through the feet. The hips are lifting, but they're not thrusting up. There's still a little crease in your hip flexor area. You might walk your shoulders underneath you. Some of you like to karate chop your arms down or interlace your fingers underneath you. Those are all options. Please, no stress on your neck, which means you're not flattening your neck. You want a curve in it. The back of the head is gently touching and pressing down, and there is a curve in your neck. We're going to exhale and slowly lower back down. Take a pause, and we'll go back up. Breathe in. Breathe out, inhale, hips rise up. Now this time, pushing down through your right foot, maybe you lift your left foot off the earth. It could be an inch or two, and then lower it down. And then push down through the left foot, and maybe you lift the right. It could just mean coming up on your tippy toes and lower down. So your heel just might rise. It's about finding a little balance, pushing down, feeling that grounding down as you lift the leg up. Release it. So even it out, right and left, and then lower your hips down. And let's walk in place here on our back. So bring one knee in, let it go, bring the other knee in towards you, let the foot go back down to the earth. So you're walking in bridge prep pose. Let that foot slap down. Now, as it does, without hurting yourself, of course, your ankle or your foot, notice what lowers first. Is it the heel or the toes? Notice it. And let's play with it. So lower it so the heel does come down first. And then maybe play with it so the toes come down first and then the heel. Even it out. And then let's lift our heels, push down through the toe pads, release it, let it go. Now, push down through your heels and lift the rest of your foot up. Notice how that's activating your legs. We're going to do that in bridge pose. We're going to inhale up, push down through the heels, lift the feet, check out your neck, make sure it's supported and it's got a curve there. We're pushing down through the heels. We're lifting up the rest of the foot. Exhale, release it, let it go. One more time so you can feel this. Push down through the heels, lift the rest of the foot, thighs rise. Now maybe here, you might try to lift a leg up. That's kind of hard. And release, let it go. Sometimes I get ridiculous ideas. Bring your right knee in towards you, cross the ankle over the thigh for number 4 stretch, and then pull the knees in towards you until you feel a sensation or right before it. You guys know where your range of motion is. And if you don't yet, because you're new to it, then you take your time to find it, which means you might go less than what you think your range of motion is at first. And you say, okay, I've been this while, I'm not feeling it. After 5 or 10 breaths, you might pull the knee in a little bit more. And then you stop when you start to feel it. No pain, but you're feeling the stretch. It's a slight discomfort that you might not be used to feeling. Let's breathe in this spot where you're at for 3 to 5 breaths. As you breathe in and out, and then you're going to let your knees fall towards the right into a kind of a twist. I'm going to turn a little bit this way so you can see. And then I want you to kind of swish it the other way. So we're going side to side, side to side. And then come back to center. Place the foot back down, bring the other knee in, cross the ankle over, flexing the foot. Stay here. If you're already feeling a stretch, pull it in. If you're not, find that spot that's just right for you. Feel the sensation in your hip. Breathe in and breathe out. Breath is in. And breath is out. Enjoy this stretch. When you're ready, you can kind of swish it now. Bring the knees towards the left and then back up and towards the right. Now, at any point, you might decide to stay on that side for a little bit and feel the twist. And that's awesome. You might stay right here and feel it. And if it's too much with the ankle over the thigh, you can always undo that. Enjoy your twist. We'll come back to center. And we're going to lie on our side. And I'm going to bring this buckwheat pillow onto the side so you can see. I'm going to stick it a little bit under the neck. So I've got a little support here. And my arm is out and not even under the pillow, just about here. So I've got support, and you can play around and move it around, but I've got support under the head. Now, if I took it out, it might look like this, right? So my head is down, it's not supported, and I'm not in alignment. I could take my hand under there or my arm under there and get a little bit more of alignment. Or I could have a lower block or blanket there. I'm just giving you an idea what it's like to have the buckwheat under there. And then let's do a few of our clams. So keeping toes together, inhale, lift knees, and then lower. Now, some of you, if you have one of those stretchy bands at home, you can put it around your thighs and build up a little bit of strength that way. You're opening slowly and closing slowly. And inhale, you might have done these in PT, and then close it. They're known as clams. We're opening up the clam, and then we're closing it. And one more time, and let's just hold it there and feel what muscles back there are activating. I believe it's gluteus minimus. And then release that down, and maybe you stretch it out. Bring the knee in towards you and push the leg away. Bring the knee in towards you and push the leg this way. That'll get into this hip. So you can keep the knee bent. So here we are, we're lengthening back, and then we bring it in and we might lengthen it out to the side like so, but that's going to get into this area. So be very gentle. We'll switch sides and do clam on the other. How fun to bring my pillow with me. So this side might be different because we're different on each side. And then we go to our clams. So inhale, lift the knee and slowly lower it down. Inhale, lift it, but we're slow here. You might close your eyes so you can feel where you're working. You are strengthening back there into your glute. We're lifting. You also may feel a stretch in your inner thighs, and you're pushing away. So your abductors are working too as they push out. If you have one of those elastic bands, then you might even feel it slightly more with the resistance, but you don't have to use it. A few more. Inhale up and exhale it down, and inhale it up and exhale it down, and maybe you hold it. And then let's extend it. Push the heel out, pull the knee in, press the heel out, pull the knee in. Maybe you kick the leg out to the side. Some of you are going to go, no way, right? Because there's going to be a big sensation there. If you keep your knee bent, it won't be quite as much. And you're pushing your heel away. If you extend it, you might use your hand for a little bit of support. Bring it on in. Let's go back to our backs and stretch out our hamstrings. You can use your strap, your hands, or a cane. I've got a cane here. I'm going to use it. Come on down. And we're going to stretch out the back of the leg. Lifting one leg, placing the strap around your foot or against behind your thigh, and stretching the leg up towards the sky. So the knee is about over the hip, the foot, the heel is about over the knee, and the toes work towards you. So they're moving back and you're flexing them towards you, and that changes the stretch right there. And then maybe you extend the bottom leg, but that's only if you're not feeling a stretch. If you're already feeling a stretch, you don't need to do it. And then we might cross it over the midline, which is very similar to what we were doing on the side. And that's going to get in towards the outside of the hip and maybe along the leg. And bring it back up and cross it over again. And bring it back up. So when we were doing eagle pose, it was very similar in terms of where we're getting into, but this is a little bit more, for me, it's a little more intense. Notice what it is for you. I'm doing this all the way into the bottom of my foot, by the way. Let's bring it back and let it go and do the other side. So strap around the foot or hands underneath the thigh or use your canes. So we push the heel upwards. If you have your hands behind your thigh, then you can push your thigh into your hands and hands into your thigh. And just notice, pause, feel the sensation, feel the weight of the leg, maybe soften your gaze or close your eyes. Rather than with the run from the sensation, we stay with it. Stay with it rather than ignore it. That's when the injury happens. Maybe you extend the bottom leg, maybe you don't. And we drag the heel back in. You might cross the leg over towards the side, bring it back up, cross it over the midline, bring it back up, cross it over, bring it back up, lower the foot back down. And notice how your body's feeling now. Ask your body, does it need anything else? Anything else? Body, do you need anything else? Find your way to lying on your back, maybe with the butterfly pose with your knees out. Maybe they have blocks underneath your knees, actually, that helps support it. So it looks like this with a block under each knee for butterfly. If you don't want to do butterfly, you don't have to. Of course, you might put your feet up on a chair. You might extend your legs and put a pillow underneath your thighs to just help your back. That just helps to release any back strain. And here we go with this. You either have a blanket under your head. Now, if your head tilts back, you're probably going to want the pillow underneath the back of your head. So it would be right just under the back like that. If your head tilts back like that, that's what you're going to want, is something under your head. But we're not looking for this where it's flattening the neck. That's too much. Because I can move this around, I can get just a little bit under the neck. That's how it shapes. It's under the neck supporting it. And then it's there, it kind of slopes down so my head can relax on it. That just gives you an idea how the buckwheat pillow works. And from here, soften into your breathing and relaxing and sending gratitude to your body as you inhale. Bring the gratitude into your body and then exhale and let it go. And breathe in and breathe out. Breath is in and breath is out, releasing control of the breath. So it just is. You have awareness of the sensation of breathing. You feel the air coming in through the nose and out through the nose. Our belly rising and falling. Relaxing the jaw, the eyelids, and the lips. Relaxing any holding in the legs and the feet. Anywhere you feel any holding. Sending love to your body. And any point in your body that you feel needs a little bit more attention, send it there. Breathe in. And breathe out. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the fingers. Relaxing the whole body. Feel the whole body as you breathe in and you breathe out. Feel yourself as a breathing, living being. And stay as long as you want in your resting pose. You may rise if you choose to. And we'll bring our palms in front of our heart as an expression of gratitude for this practice, for the healing that it brings to the core of our inner being. For really perhaps the greatest benefit of being together as we practice near and far. Namaste, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Mother's Day to those of you celebrating.